Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy! Hey folks, this is episode number 371 of the Ages of Rock podcast. See, this is how professional we are.
I see Ages of Pop. Where did that come from?
Every show. And
it's okay. I can't say that either. Whatever you're trying to say.
Yes, episode 371. That's so difficult to say. No,
yes,
but seriously, we've got Taylor Carroll, who is one half of the band Kemikalfire, which I dig that name and the way y'all spelled it, and we will get to that part.
Yeah,
but they just dropped, and there's a pun there, a new video called The Drop. And Taylor's here. He's going to tell us about The Drop. Anything he wants to talk about. You also have a song called Dead and Gone. And I checked out the acoustic version of Dead and Gone, and I fucking dig it.
Oh, thank you, man.
I like it a lot.
That means a lot, y'all. Thank you.
Very cool.
So
That's tell us. Cool. Yeah, we wanted to do a couple different versions of that, so I'm glad we got to put that one out.
Yeah. So tell us about The Drop and the video drop and all of that good stuff.
Man, The Drop is actually, it was one of the first tunes that we wrote together with our producer, Scott Stevens. And we actually wrote this in 2021. We showed up to the studio, and what happened was RJ would fly out here and we would kind of work on stuff together. And we showed up in the studio one day, and Scott's like, dude, I had this riff idea for you guys, and I don't know what it is. And it happened so fast. Like RJ and Scott and I we just came up with this concept. Like, what if we wrote a song where we work so hard until we just drop dead? Ain't gonna stop till I hit and then that's kind of what came out of it. And then like a lot of other different meanings for us came out of that song. And we just enjoyed the hell out of, making that song. And it's funny how long that song existed before it came out. And it's our first song that we play live for both of the shows that we've played. So it's been awesome, man. Like the crowd seemed to love it, and it's just a fun time.
So on the shows that you're doing, are you doing some of your stuff from your other bands? Is that what you're doing mostly? And then sprinkling this stuff in? No?
Yeah. So are you saying that like mostly like Lit and Halestorm shows? Yeah. So RJ's mostly busy with Halestorm. I'm mostly busy with Lit, but we've played 2 Kemikalfire shows so far. We did the first one in LA and then the second one in Nashville, and both have been awesome. And we're looking at doing a third one around May, June-ish. Actually, around June, yeah.
Okay, so my question is, so you're both drummers. So you got 2 drummers coming together to make a band. So what other instruments do you guys play to whenever you're making these songs and for future stuff? What instruments can you Taylor play, and then what can RJ play?
Man, so in my everyday kind of life, I actually produce and write whenever I'm not on the road. So I spend most days in here like twinkling around with guitars and bass, and I can't really play piano, but I kind of attempt. I can play piano and edit it. I can play it terribly and then put it together. But we mostly like, I'll either write a riff or a song idea that I have, or RJ will bring me a drum part and I'll write some guitars over it. That's kind of my favorite way that we do it, because then it's the most chaotic, because his parts are unbelievable. Like that guy knows how to shoot out some parts that like make you want to bounce, you know what I mean? So I'm always like, dude, do you have any bouncy for us today? And then I'll just throw some guitar riffs over it. And that's kind of how we wrote a song of ours called Reckless that went over well live at one of those shows. And Dead and Gone was one that we started from scratch. So in other words, we really have no formula. We just kind of go in there, and it's different every time. We don't have any expectations, because nowadays music is so chaotic and everybody can do their own thing. And I kind of like that. Everybody's got their sound, and people are crossing genres, and it's getting weird. I like it.
That's for sure.
So we try to do something that like our gauge is like, can we bang our heads to it? Does it make us want to run around the room and go crazy? Does it make us want, like, that, like, we like go for a feeling? Does it make you want to cry? Does it make you want to laugh really hard? Like, we just literally go right for what it makes us feel, and then we tell our story in the song, and that's kind of how we come up with the whole thing. There's a very long explanation for that.
But so Taylor, what were some of your influences? I mean, what bands you listened to when you were younger, and what got you into music?
So I grew up with with actually a father that's in the business, man. My dad, his name's Bruce Carroll, and so he was a Christian Americana country artist, and it's funny, he's actually a 2-time Grammy-winning artist. So like I grew up watching him just kick booty, and do that and hold up a family and just be a great dad to all of us. And it's funny, when I hit my teens, I started getting into bands like Slipknot and just a lot of, stuff with a lot of bad words that I probably shouldn't listen to, but I really liked it. And my dad's a cool father, man. Like he was always like, hey, it's art, go ahead and listen to it. I think it's cool. And you'd always find like the silver lining and like, things that like most fathers would have probably been like, you shouldn't be listening to that. It's got the F word or something. Like my dad would just be like, man, it's art, sounds good. It was done well. I might not listen to it, and he knew I wasn't gonna, run around and be a heathen. But yeah, man, I don't know. I was influenced by like, this is really odd because it's all over the place. Like my dad got me into obviously the Beatles, and then I started getting into like 38 Special, and then I started getting into like Elton John, and then I started getting into Slipknot, and then I started getting into Muse, and then I started getting into Guns N' Roses, and then Metallica, and then my sister would sneak albums for me because my dad's like, where are you getting all these records? I was like, I didn't want to tattle on my sister, but she was the one that was buying me all the cool albums, So she would buy me the Black Album. She would buy me like, all the Blink records. She would buy me the Lit records, all that stuff, which is funny enough. Yeah, I used to listen to Lit as a teenager. And then you grow up and then you're in the band, dude. It's so weird. But
very surreal.
Yeah, like I listened to all different types of music. I would listen to like R&B. I would listen to Boyz II Men. I would listen to like Garth Brooks. I even listened to a side thing, Chris Gaines, for a while. I listened to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I listened to I just liked all music that had good songs, anything anthemic, I was in. Anything that had something cool to offer, I liked, So there's really, and RJ's the same way. He likes just about everything. Well, not just about everything. There is some music that I think he hates, but he'll never say it because he's just such a good dude.
Wow.
Nice.
So how did you and RJ connect?
So in 2009, I believe. Yeah, 2009. I was on tour with my band called Pillar back in the day. It was a rock group that was like, it's like kind of a POD vibe. And we were actually on a day off at the Mall of America. And I remember I saw this RV next to our bus and I was like, guys, I think that's a band. So I'm just going to go knock on the door and say hi. Because I guess I was bored and I thought that'd be a great idea. And I'm so glad I did, because if I didn't do that, I never would have saw this long-haired, down to his back, almost, dude that answered the door. What's up, man? And it was sure enough RJ. And he's like, yeah, we're a band called Halestorm. I came up there. I was like, oh, hey, nice to meet y'all. We're a band called Pillar. There's our bus. And they're like, oh, we knew you were a band. And so long story short, we ended up hanging out in the mall that day and riding a bunch of those little indoor roller coasters. And I drank some beers on their RV that night. And Mama Storm was really sweet. And their dad was driving the RV and chugging Monster Energies. And I made friends with those guys. And over the years, we just kind of stayed in touch. And in 2015, I believe, we were hanging out playing billiards at a I think, yeah, it's a spot in Sherman Oaks. Yeah, we were play pool with our buddy Greg Cash, and we were like, dude, we need to start our own band someday and write some music, because we always talk about like the same influences that we have. RJ and I are like punk rock guys. Like we love all music, but we are really heavily influenced by punk, with that attitude mixed with like Muse and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And so long story short, we had enough time to do it when COVID hit, because I mean, what was the routine? I'd wake up at, noon and go buy toilet paper and then go buy coffee. And, like it was just like really boring. And so we would get on Zoom and be like, dude, do you want to start writing some stuff? And that's kind of how it started, man. And then we started this band called Kemikalfire. And I'm so glad that I'm not glad the pandemic happened, but I am glad that we had that downtime, because if that wouldn't have happened, I mean, everything happens for a reason. Otherwise, we would have been on the road and not able to do this thing. So it's truly a blessing in disguise.
It's been funny, the people that we've talked to on this podcast, what things have come out of that happened through COVID, because of COVID. The projects that have happened. And it's crazy. And the thing is we got some really cool shit from COVID. I mean, I'm sorry, but it was. I mean,
yeah,
there was some really great stuff. I mean, I remember Kevin Cronin had he started a little for Mario, started a little thing on it was a Facebook or was it YouTube? I don't remember what it was, but he would just like take a song and play it acoustically and talk about how he wrote it. And I'm like, you wouldn't get that any other way, but they were down and they had to do something, Wow. But there's other projects that, people that didn't have the time to get together. And then we have the ability now to do this from, you can do it from your house. We can send files back and forth, and you can do it, so there was a lot of cool stuff that come out of that, to be honest.
Yeah, there is. And I don't know, man, it sucks that it happened for everybody, but at the same time, I know that people formed relationships out of it. Well, some people might have ended their relationships out of it, which, sucks too. But
True.
Yeah, a lot of things happened. You're right. Like a lot of extremities happened out of it, and this band is kind of extreme. We put on an extreme live show, and we are very extreme when we're writing, and we're very laser beam focused on this group.
So when you do this, you're doing it just you two?
It's just the two of us, yeah. So as far as like how it looks live, I play the guitar and I sing, and RJ plays drums and he sings background vocals, or sometimes he'll take a lead line. Excuse me. Yeah, he'll sing just as much, pretty much. I mean, because he's going the whole time. So we both have pretty much like full-time jobs live.
Sure.
And then I'll run my guitar through like a bass rig, and yeah, and we kind of try to get this full sound out of it and just make some chaos,
We have a band here, local band, that does that, and actually they're two-piece, and they make music that's unbelievable.
Oh,
and
really?
He is called the Cold Stairs, and they do that same deal.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah.
Well, correction, they're a three-piece band now. They have a bass player.
Is it three? Oh, they did get a bass player? Okay.
Yeah.
But for a while when I seen him, he was running like a bass rig with his guitar and getting that sound. They were doing
right
a two-piece,
man.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, it's not the easiest to sorry, I don't know why this thing was dirty. It's not the easiest thing to get that full sound live, but I mean, obviously you put some subs in there and
sure.
Run it through some things, but yeah, we love just the energy of the two of us. It was originally three guys. And Greg is still a friend of ours. He was that guy that I was talking about earlier that we'd meet at that pool bar and just talk music. And he was at first in the band in, I think, 2020. He was like recording some demos with us and stuff. But after a while, Greg was like, man, you know what? And this is what we love about Greg, because he's just always straight up with us. And he's still a friend of ours to this day. He's like, yo, dogs. Like, that's how he talks. He sounds like a Viking, and he kind of looks like a Viking. He's got this like red long beard and like red hair. He's like, yo, dogs, I just don't want to sign nothing. You know what I'm saying? And we're like, no, dude, it's all good. He just did not want to sign to management. He didn't want to, he just wanted to kind of, he likes to go on the road and play his instrument. And that's it. He doesn't want to like get involved in too many of the logistics with like the bit, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Because we kind of had to RJ and I had to really like make sure that we were wanting to do this, and we're like, yeah, we want to do this. So, but it worked out that way. That happened for a reason too. So just being the two of us, I feel like we're able to create exactly what him and I both want to create, because he's the best musical partner that you could ever have.
But Alan.
So, what was the inspiration for the band named Kemikalfire and the spelling?
Man, I was taking a shower one day and having one of my boring COVID days, and I was just thinking of like a ton of names, and I was like, how about Chemical? We'll call the band Chemical, and we'll call it Kemikal. And I was like praying that RJ would like the name, because if he doesn't like it, then I hate it too. So I called him like, dude, what do you think of Chemical? And he's like, man, I like that. I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. I was like, cool. Yeah, me too. I don't really, I was like, I don't know if it's taken. We'll figure it out. And it turns out that we couldn't call our band Chemical because it was pointed out to us by like a bunch of people like that advise us, like management. It's like taking Coca-Cola and putting a K in front of it, kind of. And so, yeah, they're like, you got to put a word in front of it. It's literally like, we just wanted to get this band going together. We just wanted to create music together. So one night I was having some drinks in Nashville at the Red Door. I think, yeah, that's where it was. It was at the Red Door.
Been there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Over there on Midtown. It was that one. And I'm standing there with my guitarist and Lit. And yeah, he's like, so what's the band called? I was like, we're trying to figure out what to call it, like you can't really call it Chemical. So any suggestions? He's like, dude, he's like, just come on, man. He's like, just put a word in front of it. Just call it Chemical Burn or Chemical Fire. And I was like, Jeremy, I can't stand you because you just named the band. And he's like, cool. And I was like, that's definitely it. And then I woke up the next morning and it was still definitely it for me. But I had to clear it with RJ. And he's like, I love it, man. He's like, can we just name the damn band? I was like, yes, Kemikalfire. And so then it worked. It was available. So there it is. There's no special meaning behind it. There's no like long story other than it was the shower and then the basement east. That's it. Or no, excuse me, the Red Door, not the basement east. But yeah, man, Kemikalfire. And yeah, to us though, it kind of made sense because there's two of us, and I guess you could call one of us a chemical and one of us a fire. I don't know, however you want to do it. So there's that.
What's the timeline on more music that you guys plan to release?
Yeah, man. So we actually have, I think we have almost 20 recorded songs actually, but it just depends on, our scheduling with touring and Scott's schedule, our producer, because he's just so, he's pretty slammed with just kicking butt, like that guy has been doing so well the last few years as well. And it's just a schedule thing, like really, like if we have to go in and do some vocals and stuff. So I think we're planning on releasing something in the next few months we talked about. So it's really up to, what works the best for the three of us. Cause we look at Scott as like a third member when it comes to releasing this stuff. Cause we really want to make sure that he's able to get, down and dirty with us with the creation process. And whenever his time is freed up, then he's usually able to, get in there with us and make these things rocking. He's the best. So yeah, I'd say in a few months we'll release another. That's the plan.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
So real quick, I know you got time wise, you're gonna get out of here soon. But being that you're both in a band that is actually you're both in bands that are, out there doing things, how hard is it to get to do all this? To do, like, if you want to do some one-offs and do this, is it tough? And how do your other bandmates feel about you doing it?
Well, it's very tough because the scheduling is there's been times where we literally have to just look at each other, on FaceTime, me and RJ, and be like, "You ready to not sleep for a few days and just figure this out?" If we're gonna do a show, like we just have to kind of jump through some hoops to make it happen because the schedules are just so tight. With Halestorm being what they are, I mean, those guys are just blowing up more and more, and Lit is just always busy and on the road, and I love it. But yeah, it's tough to make it happen, especially for writing, because we have that small window, and you want to spend that time with being at home or with your family and stuff. But we really try to push to put as much into that as possible. As far as the bands go, they've been nothing but, I mean, Jeremy named the band pretty much, at the end, my guitarist and Lit, and they've been nothing but supportive, man. Like, Lizzie and Joe were, and AJ, my singer, in Lit, like they've all been at our shows, and yeah, nothing but love, man. It's been
That's good.
Really great to have their support. So we're so thankful for that. And I'm not just saying that. They've been nothing but sweet. Jeremy has, even announced at our shows, "Hey man, y'all go check out Taylor Carroll, our drummer's band Kemikalfire, with RJ from Halestorm." And it's really sweet, man. It's like one big family. So it's cool.
That is very cool.
Nice. But yeah, the scheduling's a pain in the butt. but that's all right. We'll it all happens, for a reason, man. Timing is everything. So we're not too eager to change things around and to mess up schedules. We're stoked with what we're each doing, and it makes it that much more special when we can do a Kemikalfire show because it's more of a rare thing.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Well, tell our listeners where they can find Kemikalfire on the internet.
Absolutely. If you go to Instagram, you can go to instagram.com/Kemikalfire, I believe, or you can just type in Kemikalfire. You can go to Spotify, type in Kemikalfire, check out our new song, The Drop. And remember, it's spelled with a K, so that's a little funky. Yeah, man, we also have a new merch store that just came out that we just dropped. And I believe that's kemikalfire.net. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of stuff out there. You can find us, and I can't wait to play another show. It'll be fun. I think we're looking up at New York.
Sweet.
If you get toward Nashville or the Midwest area, let us know because we'll come and check you out.
Absolutely. I definitely will. I can totally see that happening in the future. You never know. That's awesome. I'm sorry. I think RJ, he might be at a rehearsal, or he might be covered up today. I know he's been slammed, but man, I wish we'll have to do this again, man, so y'all can talk to him too.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. Yep, I know you guys are busy. I know you guys are busy, way busier than we are.
No, it's all good. It's all good. And hey, you know what? I love doing this stuff, man. I love talking to new friends and talking about music and talking about this project with my best friend. So he's RJ is the best friend that I've ever had. He's the best creative partner. There are no limits to our creations. He's never shot anything down. He's just an all-around great dude to create music with,
Very cool. All right.
Yeah,
well,
man.
You don't get that lucky.
Taylor, we thank you for your time, folks. Go to agesofrock.com and check out our past episodes and social media links. And until next time, peace out. Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.